Okay, today I'm curious, or not so much curious, more so than I am. Just have something really heavy on my heart. You know, when we're all small, one thing that we really wish or that we think about as we get older is, I really truly hope that when I get older, I'm able to get my house, live in a nice home, a nice neighborhood, drive me a nice car, have a family. All that kind of stuff is the kind of stuff that we really wish, growing up, and especially for those who are not able to have that when they're growing up. So when they get up, when they get younger, they continue to really think about, hey, I really, really wish this is what I want for my life when I get older. So fast forward for me, 42 years later, I'm here. I got my house, I got my kids, I got my family. But I have to tell you, I just bought a house last year. As a matter of fact, it'll be a year. We're coming up on our first year in our house and everything. So, but I have to tell you, something's wrong. Something's missing. Now, for you to watching this, I want to tell you the first thing before I go on. I am truly, truly blessed for what I have. I'm truly blessed for where I'm able to allow my kids to spend some years at, before leaving the house. I'm thankful that, my family's okay. We're not struggling. We have what we need and then some. So I don't want my video to take away of how blessed that I feel. But we moved in a new neighborhood that's still being built. It's probably about 95% done, but they're still building houses. They're still putting stuff up. So, so we pass it every day coming and going. But on our immediate block or street, it's beautiful. Grass, green everywhere. We had to get HOA. But it's beautiful. Everywhere the grass is cut, it's amazing. It's the place where it's like, it's something that you turn on the TV and you see. Something that you truly, that people wish for when they're younger. But here's my issue at. I grew up in apartments, okay? In a small town, Franklin, Kentucky. And I grew up in apartments. Absolutely loved it. What did I love about it? I had friends. I had people out, always. Friends to play with. We grew up together. I mean, so many different sports that we played together. And we had a blast every day. One thing that we didn't have to worry about was, well, who am I going to play with today? Who can I talk to today after school? Who am I going to have to play with on the weekend? We never had to question all of that. And it was fun, It was really, really fun to be able to do that. Now, I'm not saying that other neighborhoods that have houses and stuff like that didn't have it, but I'm just, this video is basically about living in an apartment and having a lot of kids to play with, or living in an upscale neighborhood and having nobody to play with. That's my beef right now, is that my kids don't have anybody to play with. No one's never outside. Everybody's in their own little world. The kids, they keep the kids to themselves, and they don't come outside. And my kids don't have anybody to play with. Now I have an 8-year-old daughter. She's very active, very, very active. And if you watch this video, and if you've ever met her, if you know me, then you know exactly how she is. But she's very active. But she has nobody to play with, which means we have to get in the car and go somewhere, most of the time spend money just to help entertain her. I mean, we can play with her. I get that. We can play with her. But she ain't got no friends, because everybody's in the house, on video games and, on cell phones and everything. It's boring. It is absolutely boring in this neighborhood, and my kids have nobody to play with. We didn't have that issue growing up. So why am I so frustrated about being out here? You know, why am I just not like, I'm in a house. Oh, I got this. Oh, I live in a nice. Why am I not happy? I'm missing something. You know, I'm miserable because it's just like meeting neighbors is what? Now, for one thing, I live in a neighborhood where it's just not a lot of African Americans who live out here. There's a few, but, you know, our houses are kind of spread it out. So, you know, we're not really on top of each other, which is okay, whatever. But it's just like, it's nobody to talk to, you know? And when you talk to people, you just kind of feel like, well, I'm out here in this neighborhood. I can't be me. I got to be like them. I got to talk like them. But I hate that. I really hate that. So I don't talk to anybody. You know, I mean, I got my neighbors across the street. They're Spanish. My neighbors right next to me. They're pretty cool, you know, but they got a little girl, same age as my daughter, but they hardly ever talk. You know what I'm saying? They hardly ever talk. And I really wish that they would, you know. I wish they would talk more. Because my daughter Ava, she likes playing with their daughter. I won't say her name because, you know, I don't want to put their daughter's name out here on the video. But I mean, it's boring. So am I crazy? Some people tell me, "Oh man, I would love to be out here in this neighborhood. This neighborhood is the best." Like, wow, I love it. Like, but come out here and live though. Come out here. You can come out there basically any time of the day, any day of the week, and you can almost hear a pin drop. Like, come on. Really? I mean, it's kids out here. You know, I wanted an apartment because I understood that the majority of kids can't afford houses. So their families move into an apartment, which I knew what, you know, a pool, friends, you know, it's just something always going on in the apartment setting, you know, for them to build more social skills. I mean, look at us. I mean, we got amazing social skills because we was always talking, always interacting with our peers, like every day. But now kids, they don't get that, and I'm frustrated. So my question to you guys is: should I be frustrated? Do I seem ungrateful? Because I'm very honored. I'm very humble by where I was able to purchase a house at. I really am. I mean, I'm okay with that. My only issue is when I moved out here, I was under the impression that because the neighborhood still building houses, it was going to be more kids, and my kids was going to have somebody to play with. Because when we moved to Florida back in 2015, our neighborhood, it had a very small amount of kids, you know what I'm saying? So we was like, okay, we got to find a place when we buy a house, we got to find a place that's going to have kids. Well, if we move in a community where it's still being built, most likely people are going to be moving in a neighborhood that has kids. Yeah, I was wrong. That's not the case. So my daughter has to go way around the block in the neighborhood just to have kids to play with. One big block over, and there's kids everywhere. But on my block, there's nowhere. So now we got to worry about her going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You know, so tell me, people, am I crazy? Should I feel upset about this situation? What can I do to help myself feel better? Because, I mean, it's boring, you know? I mean, I want to go outside and talk to adults. You know, I want to have adult conversations, you know, with adult people. I do. And my oldest, I got an 18-year-old son, basically. Ain't got nobody to talk to. Nobody to talk to, seems like. Nobody. And it's horrible. And I'm frustrated. So that's my vent for today, people. You guys tell me if I'm wrong or not. But I just really wish we was in a setting, i.e. maybe in an apartment or something like that had kids that was outside playing summer vacation, and everybody's in the house, and it hasn't even got hot yet in Florida. Everybody's in the house. Like, come on, dude. Really? Give us somebody to play with. So, hey, that's my time for the day. I appreciate it. Once again, this video has been about apartment versus living with the Joneses. And it's just being boring and nothing there. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Like the video. Hope to see you soon.